Wii Tanks is a spiritual successor to Wii Tanks, spelled W-E-E, as in, Wee! We're going down a slide, and W-I-I, as in, Wii, like the Nintendo console. You move around, you shoot enemies, you dodge their bullets. The reason we picked up this game is because we played Wii Tanks back in 2008. Our family picked up Wii Tanks, also known simply as Tanks, on the Wii back in the day, because somehow we ended up getting the Wii early on, and so we had the usual problems at the launch of any new console, which is not having very many choices of games to play. Thankfully, one of the games that came along with it was more of a tech demo rather than a fully fleshed out game. The game was called Wii Play. Wii Play was a collection of other sub-games: shooting range, find me, pose me, laser hockey, tennis table, fishing, billiards, charge, and lastly, tanks. Maybe someday I'll have enough of a setup to actually review console games properly, but for now, it's tanks that I want to focus on. At the basic level, they're nearly identical. Frighteningly so. I always worry a bit about Nintendo going after someone who is slightly close to a property of theirs. Another game is coming to mind. Something with pals. Anyway, I'm sure it's fine. I hope it's fine. I think the developers have done enough with Wii Tanks to hopefully shake off any potential copyright problems. Wii Tanks, not the console Wii, the going down a hill Wii, was developed by Studio Kit and released on May 16th, 2023. The basics of Wii Tanks is very simple. You drive around with WASD, aim with the crosshairs on your mouse, and blast the other guy while trying to avoid being blasted yourself. There are controller controls where you move around with one analog and you aim with the other, kind of making it feel like a twin-stick shooter, but I would advise using a keyboard and mouse. Your primary strategy is to ricochet shots off walls to get around corners and dash out of sight when an enemy tank starts to look your way. With such a simple premise, you would think this game would be easy to pick up and play, especially since the campaign saves after every 10 levels. What could be so challenging? With the ricochet mechanics multiplied by many tanks and many flying bullets, Wii Tanks quickly turns into a bullet hell. And I'm not good at bullet hell games. Oh, and if you get hit, you're dead. One hit, dead. The only reason I was able to beat the campaign was 1, playing on the easiest difficulty, 2, being able to add AI players to my team. As always, I tried to temper people's expectations by trying to downplay my own abilities. But even when downplaying my abilities, some games I just don't feel like I'm very good at. I insist that I'm probably about average at most video games, unless I've spent thousands of hours playing something. All that to say, the way that this information is helpful to you is, if you think you're better at video games than me, you might still find this game easy when I struggled with it. Or if you think that we are similarly matched, or worse, you know, oh, this game is a skip. All that said, we picked this game up because my brothers and I wanted to play Tanks from the Wii console, and wanted to play that game together. By that metric, the difficulty is irrelevant. What's important is this: was Wii Tanks fun to play as a group? Yes, absolutely. There's so much more content to this game than you see in multiplayer, though. The single-player campaign has 100 levels. 6 different levels on survival mode, a map editor where you can make your own levels and campaigns. I loved doing that kind of thing when I was younger. You can play a level called Tank Town where you can shoot civilians and be wanted like in Grand Theft Auto. That makes me sound really terrible. You have unlockable cosmetics, challenges, achievements, and even unlockables like first-person mode. The game gets really weird in first-person mode, but it is so fun to have someone playing in first-person mode and everyone else in the default third-person mode. Just a funny side note here. Someone on a Steam review complained about hating the kid's voice when you load up Wii Tanks! And the dev put in an option to mute the voice. I just thought it was funny on how that feature was included just because of a Steam review. I've said a lot of positive stuff about Wii Tanks, but again, I remind you my opinion is actually kind of mixed. It's true to the original game on the Wii console, which I was bad at that game too. There are a few rough edges in the game. I ended up being trapped in the controls mapping menu while playing multiplayer and hearing my brothers fighting off enemy tanks around me. Felt like the horrors of war while I'm swearing trying to get out of the stinking menu. The graphics and sprites are simple, and yet sometimes my computer struggles, which doesn't seem quite right considering World of Warcraft and Guild Wars 2 will make me skip frames in huge raids. So I'm not sure how well optimized Wii Tanks is. Like I said, there is controller support. I loaded up Wii Tanks on the Steam Deck, but only played enough to verify that it worked. Along with working on the computer, I can confidently say the controls are vastly inferior to a keyboard and mouse, but it is nice to have options. I really like how the developer has built on top of the Wii console tanks foundation and brought some outside inspiration. It's not just a hard copy of an old game. And who doesn't like customizing and decorating their tanks? That said, I've rarely seen such awful, miserable achievements in a video game. I only say that because I'm someone bitter I won't be getting the 70 through 90% completion grade, if you will, on the game. I'm not going to be playing until I'm good enough to beat the game on the hardest difficulty, or beat the whole game without dying. And even the easy achievements aren't fun. For one achievement, I needed to go to an artboard and draw 100 pixels on it, where you can only draw 1 pixel every 6 seconds. I know it's my own fault and that no one made me do that, but I just want to get the achievements. Just want to get that achievement dopamine rush, man. Why did so many of the achievements need to be so hard and unfun? Probably because I just find the game hard. Anyway, thank you for watching. You know what to do at the end of videos, right? Watch another one! Like the thing. Subscribe to the channel. Every time a bell dings, Atratzu gets his chicken wings. Hopefully this review has been helpful. Thank you for watching. My name is Atratzu, and I will see you in the next video.